Even before the US invasion of Iraq began in 2003, many around the world felt it was a war for oil. Fast forward 6 years and the man who ordered the invasion is consigned to the history books. But George Bush's home state of Texas plays host to an Iraq oil and gas summit. Its aim is to fast-track deals allowing international energy companies to help develop Iraq's oil industry, with reserves estimated at 115 billion barrels. But holding the summit in Houston instead of Baghdad is creating concern on the streets of the Iraqi capital.
I don't want this conference to be held in America. We want it to be held here in Iraq, before all Iraqis, not before the Americans.
Iraq's oil is becoming a curse instead of a blessing because other countries are stealing our fortunes. Every day we hear that oil gets exported for billions of dollars, but we don't see anything here on the ground.
A spokesperson from Iraq's oil ministry says it makes sense for the conference to be held overseas.
Of course, some foreign companies still remain concerned over the security situation in Iraq and thus may wish to hold the conference elsewhere. We are not too concerned where it takes place.
Prospective companies at the Houston conference will be buoyed by news this week that oil exports will begin flowing from Iraqi Kurdistan, bringing an end to a 2-year deadlock. The government of the mostly autonomous province has signed around 24 production sharing contracts with 30 international oil companies. One of those, Norwegian firm DNO, says it has now received the green light from the Kurdistan regional government and will turn on the taps in June. That revenue will help fill large holes in this year's budget, created by the global drop in oil prices. In an effort to speed up production, Iraq's oil ministry will soon award 20-year contracts to international companies to boost output at 6 oil fields and develop 2 gas fields, even though there's still no national hydrocarbon law in place.
We are going to observe all the rules and conditions required by the new hydrocarbon law, so that whenever the hydrocarbon law is going to be legislated, we are well within the legal framework of that law.
Shell, ExxonMobil, British Petroleum and Gazprom are among the 32 companies bidding for these set-fee service deals that offer none of the incentives big oil companies favour, such as sharing profits. But those who don't get a foot in the door now could miss out on potentially more lucrative deals with Baghdad later. Dan Nolan, Al Jazeera.